Today I have collected dozens of amazing photos from the past. Their story will amaze you. My name is Parker and I'm happy to welcome you to my history channel. If you love history and can support me, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much and enjoy the video. Betty the Four-Legged Girl. On this photo is Betty. She was born in 1932 into a poor farmer family and was the youngest of 12 children. Doctors said that she was a completely healthy child, except for 2 extra arms and legs that grew on the sides of her body. From the age of 2, Betty began to earn money because of her special body. Thanks to her income, her brothers and sisters were able to finish college, and her parents bought a large farm. She grew up as a happy and kind girl. But when she was 23, her boyfriend left her. She died from the asthma attack that hit the head of her small twin that lived in her stomach. The largest horse. In 1983, the largest horse was recorded. It was a Belgian horse named Brooklyn Supreme. 1928-1948. He belonged to C.G. Good from Ogden, Iowa, USA. His height was 1.98 meters and his chest was 259 centimeters around. His maximum weight in 1938 was 1,451 kilograms. Each of his horseshoes weighed 3.4 kilograms and was 35 centimeters wide. To make one shoe, they needed a piece of iron 76 centimeters long. The ship that hit. After losing to the Japanese in a battle, all remaining ships were told to go to Australia. And that ship, called Abraham Cranston, was all alone. To pass out without being seen, the crew cut down tropical trees and branches and put them on the deck. The metal parts that they couldn't cover with leaves were painted to look like rocks. During the day, the ship stayed still near the shore. Only at night they moved. Homemade tanks in Ireland. In 1916, there was an uprising in Ireland against the British. The rebels quickly took most of the government buildings in Dublin, but the British army sent more soldiers, 20 times more than the rebels, and began to stop the fight. The British didn't have tanks, so they solved the problem by making simple armored cars. They used truck frames and big steam boilers from the Guinness factory. They cut small holes in the boilers, so they could shoot. Since the rebels didn't have heavy weapons, the thick steel of the boilers was good protection for the soldiers inside. After the fight, these machines were taken apart and sent back to the factory to be used for work again. Paperheads. The French began to make paperheads during the war to find the positions of German snipers. A head was lifted on a stick above the trench, and they waited for a shot. After the sniper hit the target, the head was quickly lowered. The soldiers looked at the holes made by the bullet and used a special tool to see exactly where the shot came from. This method was very good. It helped find snipers in 67 cases out of 61. To make it look real, they sometimes used a head with a hole in the mouth. They put a lit cigarette there and smoked it through a tube while sitting in the trench. The War of Wolves. In the winter of 1916 and 1917, there was many hungry wolves on the Eastern Front. Their numbers grew near the cities and army camps, and they began to attack small groups of soldiers. Seeing this, the Russian and German commanders made a deal for a short peace. They sent their soldiers to kill the wolves. After they killed several hundred animals and the danger was gone, the war started again. The smoking basket. Military airships during World War I often flew very high to stay safe from enemy guns. If they had to fly in the clouds, the Germans used a special basket on a long cable. An officer in the basket was lowered down for 1 kilometer. He used a phone to tell the ship where to go and when to drop bombs. The crew members usually loved this job because the basket was the only place where they were allowed to smoke. The donkey experiment. In 1878, a technology was invented that allowed a camera to take a photo almost without any delay. 3 years later, a worker at a military school was told to kill an old donkey. The man decided to do it for science. He wanted to blow up the donkey's head and take a fast photo of it. The bob on the donkey was connected to the camera. The experiment was a success. The camera captured the exact moment of the explosion. The Los Angeles riots. 2 Korean men with rifles are protecting a grocery store from looters. This was during the riots in Los Angeles on April 30, 1992. The trouble started on April 29. On that day, a court said that 4 white police officers were not guilty. These officers had beaten a black man named Rodney King because he resisted arrest. After the court's decision, thousands of people went to the streets. The demonstrations turned into riots. This photo was taken the next morning. Business owners knew the police couldn't help, so they took weapons to protect their property. The death of Houdini. The famous Harry Houdini did many dangerous tricks, but he died because of a very silly situation. He was resting after a show when some visitors came into his room. One of them asked if it was true that hits to the stomach couldn't hurt him. Houdini said he could check, but the man attacked too fast. Houdini said he didn't accept such strong hits and didn't have time to prepare his muscles. Soon he had terrible pain. He died a few days later from the infection, after his appendix broke. He didn't agree to an operation right away, and even did a few more shows before he died. Operation Cottage. In August 1943, American and Canadian soldiers started an operation to free an island from the Japanese. Intelligence said there was up to 10,000 Japanese soldiers on the island. But the Americans didn't know that the Japanese have already left the island 2 weeks before under the cover of fog. More than 8,000 soldiers spent 9 days searching the island and found it was empty. Even though there were no enemies, the Americans and Canadians lost more than 300 men. Most were killed by friendly fire, shooting their own side by mistake, and others stabbed on mines. Superman and the Gun. American actor George Reeves was famous for playing Superman in the 1950s. One day, a boy came to him with a real, loaded gun. He wanted to test the powers of Superman. George almost died, but he talked the boy into giving him the gun. The actor was saved because the boy believed that the bullet might bounce off Superman and hit someone else. The Buchenwald Witch. Izzy Koch was the wife of the concentration camp leader. She is famous for her love of things made from human skin. She especially liked skin with tattoos. By her order, people made gloves, lamps and book covers from it. Also, she liked to set her dog on people in the camp and choose who would to go to the gas chamber. After the war, she was sent to prison for life. In 1967, she killed herself in her cell. Postcards for families. When NASA was preparing for the moon, no insurance company wanted to insure the astronauts because the risk was too high. To help the families if the astronauts died, NASA made special postcards. The crew signed these cards before the flight. If an astronaut died, the family could sell the cards to collectors for a high price. However, all the moon flights from Apollo 11 to Apollo 16 were safe and no one died. The human alarm clocks. In 1929, Charles Nelson worked as a knocker-up for 25 years. Every morning he woke up doctors, market workers and drivers. This job was popular in the industrial cities of England and Ireland. In ancient times, people used special tools as alarms. But during and after the Industrial Revolution, alarm clocks were actually people. Many people who liked to wake up early did this for a small price to help their neighbors get to work on time. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos.